Women in Business with Sean Murphy on Channel Radio.
Also in the studio we have Sabrina Palme, who is the founder of, now I am going to get this wrong, but I'm going to give it a go. It's Gartenzwerg Technologies, and it's an indoor garden with an app that helps people grow their own vegetables indoors.
Yes, that's right. Really excited to be here today.
Well, welcome, Sabrina. So there's a common theme here. We're going to go over when we hear a bit more about Sabrina and Anna's stories. There is a common theme here about actually wanting something and going out and trying to find it in the marketplace, and it not being there, and therefore making a decision to actually create it yourselves. So tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get to where you are, and what do you do now, and the sorts of people that you work with and that buy your product?
Sure. So maybe I should start with my personal love for cooking with fresh foods. I love to cook with fresh herbs, and I don't know how many basil plants I bought in my life. Used it for making pasta.
Do you drop them off on my doorstep? And then I go and put them on my window ledge? That's where all of those horrible brown basil plants come from.
No, but I'm a terrible gardener. Like, I don't know how many basil plants I had to throw away in my life. I'm literally a cereal plant killer. Nevertheless, I love to cook with fresh food. And so when I was doing my MBA in China, I was learning that NASA was using a method called hydroponics to grow food in space. And I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. That's what I need in my home. And then I was looking up alternatives for my little apartment, and I couldn't find anything. Everything that I could find were either very large do-it-yourself kits, they're really bulky, very gadgety, very expensive, and I wanted not just to have the possibility to grow my own food in my small apartment, but also something that looks nice. And so I thought, okay, if I can't find it, then I just build it. And that was pretty much the first time I had the idea for Gartenzwerg. And what I did after that, after I finished my MBA, I pitched my idea to my co-founder, Andre. We went to London, and then we started our personal smart garden business.
I think we better explain what hydroponics are.
Yeah. So hydroponics pretty much means that you grow food without soil. Plants, at the end, they need water and nutrients and light to grow, and something where the roots can have something to hold on to. And if you use hydroponics, the great thing about it is that you save up to 90% of water in comparison to soil-based production, and the plants grow up to 3 times faster. It's a method that already exists for quite a long time, but only in recent years people have picked it up and use it for large-scale production, also in urban farms, for example. Not so much yet on an individual level.
So what are you doing on an individual level? Because what you're now creating is designed to go into a house, and you're talking about herbs, and I have to say I find that very attractive, because I also like to cook with fresh herbs, and I have Greek basil, other basil, this type of basil, parsley I kill particularly well, all of which are dead, either inside or outside, and they can die very fast as well. They can die within being in my house, hours of being in my house. So herbs, one thing. What about other vegetables? What sort of size and scale are we talking here?
Yeah, so Gartenzwerg is a personal smart garden which fits 6 plants that grow up to windowsill size, about 80 centimeters-ish. And besides herbs, you can grow tomato, strawberries, chilies. We grow a great variety of different chilies, mini bell pepper. So anything that kind of can fit onto your windowsill, pretty much. And at the beginning, I was thinking, okay, just build my own hydroponic system and it's going to be super easy, no problem at all. And then I figured out that there's quite a lot of science behind it. It's not that you just set up your hydroponic system and that's it. You have to be really smart about how the light setting is, when to water the plants, what plant needs what kind of environment, and that's where the intelligence comes in. And we literally have in our team, a plant scientist, our plants whisperer, who profiles every single plant that grows in our system. And when you buy our smart garden, you tell the app which plants you're growing, and the system then knows the perfect growing conditions for the set of plants you have.
So, if, for instance, I have a very old house. My house is over 350 years old.
Yeah.
Now, that means there isn't a window that isn't drafty. Some bits are dark, some bits are light. It's actually a very dark house all around because it's very old. So it doesn't really matter where I put a plant. It'll be in the wrong place. It'll either be too dark or too drafty. So is this a self-contained system?
Yeah.
that it doesn't really matter. You could put it in a dark room, you could put it in a loft, and it will be okay.
You could put it in a basement, yeah.
As long as you look after it. So very quickly, how did you go about actually developing this system? I'm assuming that you didn't sort of get out some, like Blue Peter, some washing up liquid bottles and start putting it together. And it also has, I think, an accompanying app with it, doesn't it?
Yes.
So let's look at the hardware thing to start with. What sort of process did you go through to develop that?
So it's been a journey, and we changed the model and the design many times. So after we decided to design our own personal smart garden that would enable anyone to have the grow your own experience from home, it was from, okay, how do we go from idea to actually building this? And I myself, I've never developed a product before, so it was also a new experience. And pretty much what we did at the beginning is prototyping. We built our very own do-it-yourself kit.
When you say we, did you involved somebody a lot more?
My co-founder, Andre.
Okay,
yes.
so you involved somebody who had experience in building this sort of sat there, who may have an idea, but it does require technical expertise. How did you go about building that into your process?
Yeah. So I think it first starts at what do you think you are able to build yourself, just to start prototyping, get yourself into the business, getting to know it, get to know your own product inside out. And once you know, okay, you face certain challenges, you know exactly what that challenge is and what type of skill you need. So if I would have gone right away to someone, say, look, you need to design this product for me, I wouldn't have been able very specifically to describe, okay, what is it exactly that I need you to do on this product? So what we did is, okay, hydroponics, there's a lot of research already on the internet. So we first started to build our own system, tested it, and then we saw, okay, if you don't have the knowledge about hydroponics, it's very tricky to do it by yourself. So we need to automate it in a way so anyone can have this experience at home. So we knew we need someone with technical experience, someone who knows embedded systems to help us to build that intelligence. And that was pretty much our very first person that joined our team to develop that intelligence with us.
I'm going to ask you what may sound like a bit of an odd question, but you got together with a co-founder.
Yeah.
How did you work out that co-founder, that particular person, was the right person for you to work with?
So I always knew that I wanted to start my own business at some point, but for a really long time I didn't really know what it was going to be until I had the idea for Gartenzwerg. And I asked myself the same question, okay, when I get to that point, how do I know who's the lucky person to do that? And so I must say, in a way, it's timing and luck, I think. It takes a great portion of luck to find the right person to do business with you. And in my case, Andre, my co-founder, we did our MBA together in China. He's from Brazil. And during the MBA, we were working on several projects together. And although he has no experience with building things, he has great experience with strategy and operations. And I could see that we have very complementary skill sets. So my background is in the creative industry, marketing and communications. We were working really well in projects together. And we just really well connected, and also on a personal level. And so when I had the idea, I knew right away that I would want him to be part of my team.
I asked that question specifically because I do come across so many people, not just on the radio but in my business life, who have started out business and they've gone with a business partner and it's just all gone horribly wrong. And when they look back on it, it was because they hadn't perhaps really thought through. It was just somebody they got on well with. They thought it would be fun to be in business with that person. We've all done it. And didn't actually perhaps sit down and say, well, how is this going to work? You know, what are they bringing to the party? What am I bringing to the party? How are we going to have discussions? Are we going to have board meetings? What's it going to be? But it sounds as though you actually sort of really thought this through and planned it.
I think you have a really good point, and the reason why I wanted to do the business with him is because most of the times we do not agree on certain things.
Yeah.
So it's not that, in so many situations there is no right or wrong. There are different realities to the same truth, I guess. And with him, he has a very strategic perspective. He's also someone who's very focused, who's very detailed, who's very organized and aware, okay, what do we do next? And I'm on the other side. I know, okay, the big picture.
I bet you find him really annoying, don't you?
Really annoying. Yes.
Because I work with somebody like that. But it's really, and especially if you've got somebody that can challenge you, that can challenge an idea without becoming a pain in the arse. Because there are some people who will just argue about anything just for the sake of arguing, and they can stall a project, can't they, in process. But if somebody's actually, well, actually, let's look at this a different way, and they're doing it constructively, it can be the most valuable thing you can bring into your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Sabrina, tell people how can they get hold of... and I also want you to tell us what the name means, Gartenzwerg, because it's lovely. It's really cute, isn't it? It stands for... Is it garden gnome? Garden gnome. I think that's really cute. How can people go and find out more about them?
So, yes, Gartenzwerg is the German word for garden gnome, as you said. So it's the little guy that helps you to take care of your plants, which is our pretty smart garden. You can find us online. I don't know if you don't know how to spell Gartenzwerg, then I would suggest you just look for garden gnome in German, and then you for sure will find us.
Okay.
Or you can go on our Twitter handle, and it's been a link has been tweeted out as well from @Whip Radio Live.
I appreciate that for English-speaking people. Must be quite hard to say and probably to pronounce. And yes, you can find us online on our website, gartenzwerg.me. We also have on Facebook, we're Gartenzwerg Limited. On Twitter we are as well with Gartenzwerg Limited, and you can also find us on on Instagram with Gartenzwerg Gardens.
High technology driven businesses, are there any particular resources, books, tools, people, tips, anything that helped you in your journey towards getting these out into the market?
In our case, for instance, it was, of course, reading a lot, but in my case, more talking to a lot of people. So, for instance, when it came again to the technical development, I didn't know exactly what it was that we need, what type of skill. So we were looking up, literally, headhunting on LinkedIn, people who are very techy, contacted them and asked them for their feedback and what we need, almost like a consulting session. And most of the time, these guys, they were like really open. They said, yeah, sure, let's meet for a coffee. I can tell you more about it and give you more detail on what are the things you need. And that was really helpful for us. Brilliant.
Get on LinkedIn, find the people, open up a dialogue, see if they'll talk to you. It's really as simple as it can be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sabrina Palme from, can I say it again? Gartenzwerg. Laura Lawrence, my lovely co-host for today. This is the Women in Business Radio Show. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Women in Business with Sian Murphy on Channel Radio.